Happy 2025. It's been a long time since I've done a video of any kind of forecast, and I thought it would be fitting to do one for the new year. Hi, I'm Veronica Lee, and I am no longer doing weekly transformational forecasts, but I decided to do one to step into this year. One of the things that I, of course, thought of, not that I'm new to think of this, was the term thrive in 2025. I want to focus a little bit on that because I also want to give you a picture of what's forming for us, but to really come back to this place of thriving. One of the energies that we've been moving into for a long time is we're trying to do this huge awakening. As a collective, as a humanity, we really want to step so much into our higher selves. The tricky part is that there are a lot of energies and old patterns that don't want that for us. And it's an us versus them at all. It's what aspects of our higher selves or our lower selves or other aspects of ourselves want us to stay small, don't want us to thrive, don't want us to become more of who we are here to be. It may look like other, and oftentimes it can be other, but essentially, if we are agreeing to it on some level, then it's not other, it's us. And given that we are all in oneness consciousness, there is only us. That being said, in this need or desire or this impulse to really come into our power, come into our higher selves, there is a resistance that's happening, similar to this, resistance of being born, right? We obviously, the birth canal opens and the head wants to come through, but it's not going to just come flying through. It's going to be resistant in some way. There's so much that is pushing down on us right now. Financially, there's a lot of stress and strain. There's been a lot of pushing back in terms of people's human rights. There's been concerns about, this oligarchy or people who have, and it's so-called versus the have-nots. Lots of what seem like fundamental rights are being threatened. And really, it's fear. And we know that. So I'm not telling you anything we don't already know. It's fear of what is going to happen if everybody feels good, if everybody is empowered, if everybody has exactly what we want. Well, what would happen is that there would be less control of people. There would be less ability to withhold from people. There would be less, let's say, capitalism. It's not that capitalism is bad per se. It's this idea that in order for me to have, others can't have. And really, that's the system that we are trying to shift. It's that picture of there is no one else holding me down. It's me stepping into me. And collectively, this is what we are wanting. Now, coming back to this thrive in 2025, one of the things that we want to do in order to move away from survival and more toward this idea of thriving is we need to start with the fundamentals. So the fundamentals are, what are we eating? How much sleep are we getting? Quality sleep. What are we doing to take care of our human bodies? How are we laying the foundation of each day? How do we begin our day? What do our fundamental relationships look like? One of the pictures that can cloud what we are wanting for ourselves is an external idea of what that should look like, right? Does that look like everybody else's? Is our grass just as green? Is our yard just as manicured? Do we have as much money, in our bank account that our neighbors do? It's this idea of comparison and being just like whatever, whether it's somebody else or what's acceptable. And that's that piece that keeps us hooked because we want so much to be accepted and loved. The issue is that if we are expecting that acceptance and love externally, it can always be pulled away. So again, there's that picture of control. By beginning our own morning, let's say, with what makes me feel joy, what brings me into alignment, what is it that I want to come into for myself of the day, that allows us to move with more clarity. By feeding ourselves nutritious food, and it's not to say we can't have candy or we can't have, that hamburger or whatever it is that we want, but how do we sustain good health, sustain a good nutritious, balanced diet for ourselves? And it's not, again, about having a New Year's resolution to have a specific diet, but how do we really nurture that which is already here and trying to thrive? Essentially, our bodies and our beings want to thrive, right? We want to expand. If we look at children, they will overcome all kinds of things to grow. They grow anyway, even if we feed them crappy food. They, get bruises when they fall over and they get right back up and they keep going. So we are inherently, hardwired to thrive. And over time, we start to not only not believe that, but we start to become more, I won't say lazy, but more resistant, just on whatever level, more resistant to our ability and our desire to thrive. So with that, yes, there's going to be pushback. Yes, we will be at choice. Yes, that choice may not always be easy. And yes, we are inherently hardwired to thrive. And so how do you align with that? And it's coming back to the basics. If you want to make a vision board and get excited about what you want to achieve, that's fine. But it's not about achievement. It's not about doing. It's not about getting to a certain place. It's about really honing in on what you already have, what you already are, nurturing that to the best of your ability so that this being can continue to thrive. And that being said, happy 2025.